bug out, where should you bug out, when should you bug in, all that kind of stuff. So let's talk about the differences first, real quick. Bugging out versus bugging in. What is bugging in? Bugging in is going to be the most common type of thing anyone is going to really do. Why? Because you've got all your preps at home, right? Let's say you've got 10,000 gallons of water. You're not taking 10,000 gallons of water with you bugging out. Let's say you've got 5 years worth of food, long-term food, like beans, rice, canned food, that kind of stuff. You're not going to take 5 years worth of food and bug out with it. Bugging in, or bunkering in, is just the more popular option to do because it's home. You've got everything there. It's what you're used to. And human beings are creatures of habit. So, staying home would be more preferable than to leaving your home. Now, I'm not talking down to anyone that would rather bug in than bug out. That's perfectly fine. And guys, if I'm all over the road, I'm sorry about that. This car has a very, very, very bad front end. It is very loose and it walks all over the place. I'm just doing my best to keep it straight. But besides that, there's a lot of people out there that'll say, "Oh, well, I'll never leave my home." There's nothing that'll make me leave my home. I would rather die than leave my home. Well, you know what? Those people, if they are hardcore to that, then yeah, they're gonna die before they leave their home. For the rest of us, when is an appropriate time to leave your home? Whenever it is safer to leave than it would be to stay is the answer. Hang on, I gotta take a drink real quick. Okay, so if it is safer to leave your home and stay where you are, that would be an appropriate time to bug out. Watches Pinball Preparedness, you would know that he says there's only two things that are going to make him leave his home: the forest catches on fire, or the Chinese are coming over there. And that's pretty much the gist of everybody. There are certain things that are going to make anybody need to evacuate their home. And if you're one of those people that are like, again, saying, "I'd rather die than leave my home." If the forest catches on fire, are you going to be that ignorant to stay and burn to death in your home because you would rather die than leave your home? I find that hard to believe. You're going to evacuate. You're going to bug out. And, if your bug out plan is locating a hotel, or multiple hotels within a 25 to 50 mile radius of your house, then that would be acceptable, or like a forest fire or something like that. So let's talk about bugging out. Bugging out is leaving your home, going to a place that you think or feel is safer than your current location. What are the things that you should look for in a bug out location if you haven't already chosen one? Things that you're going to want to look at are climate, terrain, people, resources. Four big things that you're going to want to look at. Let's talk about them in no particular order. Let's start with climate. Is the area that you're looking at bugging out at, is it hot? Is it cold? Is it moderate? What is the climate like? You're going to want that perfect climate. So you're not going to want it too cold. You're not going to want it too hot. You're going to want it like right there in the middle, if that is possible. You're going to want to look at the weather, and weather would fall into climate. So Does it snow a lot? How much snow does it get? How much rain does it get? Rain, precipitation is going to be a big factor in it because we all need water. And in SHTF situations, we're going to need to replenish our drinking water as much as we possibly can. Because I've said it before and I'll say it a million times, ideal conditions, 3 days without water, you're dead. That can vary due to conditions, obviously. So you're going to want to you're going to want your bug out location to have a decent amount of precipitation. But remember, snowfall can kill. Depending on where you are, avalanches can be an issue. So you're going to want to avoid like mountainside areas or at the base of a mountain, which is known to have avalanches or anything of that sort of nature. Hypothermia is a big one. What is going on? Hypothermia will kill. So consider hypothermia and frostbite big decision choices in your bug out location, because they are very important to consider. Again, guys, they can kill you. If you're not careful, it will kill you. So your climate and your weather needs to be a big factor. Let's talk about your natural resources. Obviously, they're going to want to pick an area that has a body of water. And I'm not talking about some little rinky-dink pond. I'm talking about like a lake or, you know, a river or the ocean, something like that. You're going to want a larger body of water. Body of water, especially a larger body of water, will give you, you know, obviously drinking water. It'll give you water for cooking, cleaning, everything like that. Not only that, but it'll also provide you with food, fish. Learn what kind of fish are in that pond or that water supply. It won't just provide you fish, however. Birds come to where there are fish. So maybe you could even be lucky enough to, you know, bag some predatory birds, and you can add that to your food supply. Let's talk about land animals. You're going to want to make sure that there is other kind of game in the area, such as wild pig, deer, elk, moose, whatever. You're gonna want to be familiar to what kind of animals are in that area that you can eat, you can hunt and eat, and you're also gonna want to know what kind of animals out there want to hunt and eat you. So keep that as a consideration. Let's talk about the people. What kind of people are in that area? Obviously, you're going to want somewhere where there is a low population density, but if you live out on the East Coast, that's going to be very hard to find. Granted, there are places out on the East Coast with lower population densities. Let's look at West Virginia, for example, or Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, places like that. They are going to be lower population densities. But regardless of where you go, you're probably likely going to encounter other people, unless you are in the middle of a massive national forest or, you know, someplace like that. Take a look at what kind of people are in that area. Which way do they lean politically? Are they conservative or are they liberals? And you're going to want to generalize this. I don't like generalizing anything, but for this one, you're going to want to generalize it, because in cases like this, more accurate to generalize. So like if you're in southeastern New Mexico, then odds are you're going to be more conservative versus if you're in Albuquerque, odds are they're going to be liberal. Okay, so right now, this situation, you're going to want to generalize the people in that area, which way do they lean politically. That way, it'll tell you, can I, potentially make an ally, or do I potentially need to keep as low profile as, physically possible? That's a big question you need to ask yourself when choosing a bug out location. Terrain, let's talk about terrain. What kind of terrain is your bug out location? Is it going to be mountains? Is it going to be prairie, forest, seaside? What is the area, where are you bugging out to? Obviously, don't tell me, don't tell anybody, unless you're telling your mag where you're bugging out to, but taking in your terrain, is it going to be hard to traverse to get to your bug out location? And guys, there are pros and cons to having hard terrain to traverse. Pro would be, it would be harder for other people to get to you or find you. It could also deter other people from finding where you are at. However, on the flip side, hard to traverse terrain is a double-edged sword. It'll be difficult for you to get to your bug out location, so make sure that is a consideration. Is it easy to traverse? Is it a plains kind of area? What is it? Is it mountains? Mountains can provide a lot of resources depending on where you are. If you're in the Oregon mountains of New Mexico, they're not really going to provide a whole lot. But if you're in like the mountains of Colorado, then yeah, you're going to have plenty of resources and all that kind of stuff. But then you're going to get a trade-off with the climate. So again, the terrain kind of goes hand in hand with the climate and natural resources. All of this stuff just ties together really. Fly in here. Yeah, all this stuff ties together. And these are big things that you're going to want to ask yourself while choosing a bug out location. And guys, again, everybody, I don't care who you are, everybody needs to have a bug out location. And guys, this is one thing I like about Las Cruces, is take a look to the right hand side and you can see the big showy end. It's a massive pepper. I love it. Pepper for a prepper, right? Guys, on that note, I'm going to end it here. I did make a video. It was actually like 21 minutes long. For this one, I am not going to release that one because I was doing 80 miles an hour on the highway and the AC doesn't work in this vehicle and the windows were open and I wasted 21 minutes because the audio was just, you couldn't hear anything. Guys, on that note, y'all have a good one. Stay safe out there, and until next time, I'll see y'all.